No, no, I'm not going to.
Or you do a video.
No, it's fine.
Shannon,
What?
what are you doing?
I'm nothing. Just go about whatever you're doing.
Do I need to come over there and monitor you?
Why would you need to monitor me?
Because you sound guilty.
I shouldn't sound guilty.
You do sound guilty.
Nope.
I don't trust you.
Love ya. All right. I'm not going to title this anything that's going to bring any extra attention on any of this. I just find it really weird. Um, I have this channel that's below 5,000 subscribers. And, you release a video. And honestly, I would never produce a video on something that I didn't care about. There are days where I talk about hockey games that I don't necessarily have any emotional investment in, but I know that I have subscribers who like to hear about that game. And I know that my delivery comes across as kind of dry, which is why when people meet me in real life, they're kind of taken aback. That first off, I'm very animated, I'm very reactionary, very emotional, and I can probably curse a few times depending on the situation and what's going on. And what I do on YouTube is something else. Now, it's just strange to me. The one thing that I've noticed, and I think the biggest thing about being a YouTuber is that we see what we do, and um, there's definitely something narcissistic about the whole YouTube celebrity thing, YouTube channels. The idea that we are going to provide something that people can click on or something people will, which is why in the beginning I didn't produce anything I thought anybody would ever watch because I didn't see any reason anybody would. But I produced stuff because, I had stuff I got off my chest, so I just throw a video on the internet and then go to bed. I don't really think about it. Now you fast forward a few years and I have a decent subscriber base, almost 5,000 here, and a larger number, almost 70,000 on my main channel. And I've done that through a lot of changes in how I deliver things and a lot of changes in my set and all of that stuff, including the studio light that sits in the middle of the jerseys there, and this other wonderful studio blinding light over here that blinds me and gives me headaches regularly. Especially on days where I do a lot of videos, I usually have a headache by the time I go to bed that night. So there are challenges as things get bigger, but I'm very aware of how lucky I am to have what I have because unlike other jobs, you don't really need special training to do this. And so I kind of get the insecurity, and I see the insecurity a lot. And I'm not sure that ever really fully goes away. From a couple of the larger channels that I support, I don't know that it ever really fully goes away. The idea that you worry about losing your spot, you worry about having built something and then it just disappears, and especially when you see that happen with certain channels. I don't worry so much that everything's gonna go away. I'm in my 40s. If I ended up in a situation where I ended up not being a YouTuber anymore and ended up having to do something else, I would deal and I'd figure it out. I've worked at jobs that people didn't want, people didn't last at. Any job I got hired for, I was usually the last of my group that got hired that stuck it out there. I could never figure out if that was a sign of intelligence or not, or if they knew better than I did. Like maybe I'm the frog that stays in the water as it boils. But I bust my ass for this, for everything I've done on both channels, and I take pride in this. And over the last week and a half on this channel, I've watched as the numbers have gone up, and I've been very happy about that. That being said, I'm not gonna get dragged into anything. Um, it's not gonna happen because it's not me. It's not me to come out and flat out attack somebody or somebody's channel. Um, I've got over 2 years of hockey videos, and I've never once come out and said anything negative about another channel on my channel, in comments anywhere. Do I think every single channel produces great content? No. But even the ones that don't, I go, you know what? These kids are excited. They've got potential. And I wish them the best. And I do. I see that there are certain niches in the market that are being helped by them. When I see a kid say, I'm going to start a channel about, and he mentions a team that I know is getting underreported, great idea. It'll probably take off slowly, but once it does, you may be the only channel that's catering to that market. It's a great idea. I think it is much better to build other people up. And I know, and I've said this in recent videos, and it's fascinating to me to watch it, that yes, the drama, the tearing everybody down, will garner you more attention than being positive and building people up. But at the same time, I would rather have small channels and look at the end of the day and say, I did this as me, as myself. And I'm not aware of anybody who's met me that's a subscriber to either channel that has walked away saying, wow, he's really a jerk. He's not the guy that we see on the channel. And I've made friends with people I've made through that I've met through the channel, and I obey the standard rules. You don't talk politics, you don't talk religion, and you just stick to just the common everyday stuff. And yeah, I go out for dinner with people I've met through the channel. I hang out with them. I talk to them on Facebook. It's not a problem. As if the channel ever got to the stage where it was really, really big, that gets more difficult. It's more of a challenge at that point, because it's a matter of time management and a matter of just, I don't have time to necessarily answer anything. But thankfully, my wife has been absolutely amazing. And she helps with managing that stuff as well. And there are times where an email will come in that she'll say, Shannon, you need to read this. You need to answer this. I again, I think that with the platform that we've been given, it's a microcosm of the rest of the internet. The internet was, to me, it looked like it was invented so we could all exchange ideas globally, and that maybe it would be some kind of a uniting thing. Doesn't always turn out that way, because again, the drama will sell. But for anybody who's wondering, like, is Shannon going to try to get it? No, I have no interest in any of that. None. It is not a part of any of this that interests me. Would I enjoy meeting some of the bigger YouTubers? Probably. It depends on who they are, and if I actually watch their content. If I don't watch somebody's content, I don't see that there would be a big deal about meeting people. Because again, it's sort of like if you let's say you live in Fiji, you have a chance to meet a world famous basketball player, but you've never watched a basketball game. You have a chance to meet LeBron James. You may know that LeBron James is a big deal. He's worth a lot of money. He's done a lot of great things, but you're not a fan, so it's not going to be the same for you to meet him as it's going to be for somebody outside of a Lakers game that he hangs out and talks to after the game. That's going to be huge for them. So that's kind of how I view YouTube, just on a level where we don't really have a LeBron James. I guess Pew's as close as you'd get. I would talk to him. Felix, PewDiePie, whatever you want to call him. I would talk to, only because when you're dealing with a guy who has managed to be on top for that long and maintain his position on a site for so long where there is so much competition, I would be very interested to talk to him and get advice from him, and I think it would be very worthwhile. And there are probably some others as well. There are some YouTubers that are moderately big that I may talk to here and there, but again, it's a really big site, and it's really easy to picture, oh crap, that channel's doing something special and they're kind of in my area. So again, I'm not going to get into any drama. I know my wife's listening to every word right now. She's ready to run over and smack the microphone and tell me to stop it. Because yeah, I feel the need to say before anybody, because I don't want anybody to say, oh, Shannon's getting into it too. No, I'm not. No. I saw something I felt I needed to say something about, and I did. And for me, it's done. That's the thing. For me, it's done, and it's one of those things I see, and from the comments I saw on that video, I was like, yeah, all right, I'll leave it. Um, and that's that. Because again, I've discussed other things before that. I think, and you know, to this day, my favorite thing that's happened on this channel was that when Yvonne and I did the review of the Dead Dead's Hailstorm Stone Sour concert, that the drummer from the Dead Deads saw our review and thought that was awesome. So to this day, I still am kind of like, yeah, Johnny Dead's kind of awesome. And I understand Tasha Jones is now touring with Saliva, I believe, which is kind of a big deal. But you know, she's very talented, and I still follow her. And um, I don't know if she posts that much on YouTube anymore. But again, I don't necessarily go by numbers, and maybe that's where I'm different too. I don't look at a really big channel and say, well, because that channel's really big, you know, I can't say anything. Well, because that channel's really small, I you know, I shouldn't mention them either because nobody knows who they are. In fact, what I was thinking about today was I wanted to do videos where I spotlight small YouTube channels that I think are doing a really good job. There are a few of them that I think are pretty darned entertaining, and I would like to do spotlights on them to call attention to them. The same as when my channel first, you know, started gaining traction, people were posting it on Reddit. They were posting it on various websites, and it would take off. So I would love to be able to do that for other YouTubers as well. Again, I am here not for drama. I like the idea of building other people up. I like the idea of, um, you know, of supporting other people on the platform, and I think you can do really well with that. And I've had, you know, over the last couple of years, a lot of people. I don't get it as much now as I used to, but a lot of people that wanted to collaborate with me, and it was always a matter of they didn't. 9 times out of 10, they don't live anywhere near where I am because I'm on the West Coast, and most of the sports channels are in Toronto East. So Toronto and then east of Toronto, and I could never figure out an angle where I thought that a collaboration would work. Otherwise, I was like, yeah, that would be fine. But it was one of those things that you know, I get those requests every now and then. There are channels that I would love to do collaborations with, but again, it's a matter of time. It is a matter of doing one not just for the sake of doing it, but because there's a purpose to it. So that's where I'm at. Anyways, I'm gonna zip it before my wife comes over and smacks the microphone off the stand here. I wouldn't want to have another incident. She sometimes these things, you know, she's a nice lady and all. Um, she tries. She really does. Right, Yvonne? Right? You try, right? I love you so much. Oh, I think from hanging around with the cats, I think you've got their death glare. I think you've mastered the death glare. That's a lily bell. That's what that is. Yes, dear. Anyways, so yeah, I'm just keeping it light, just light as possible, and yeah. So there you go. For me, that's I just wanted that to be out there, and thank you guys for all the support, for the growth this channel's had. For anybody who's a new subscriber, welcome. And again, I just think the platform's better off if people are, you know, building each other up and doing it for good reasons. I know that on the main hockey channel, we're already kind of excited and talking about, and we've got to get the details all figured out for the second annual Brony Hints Memorial Tournament. So that's something that's out there that I need to get working on. The big key with the Brody Hints tournament is none of the money passes through my hands. It has to go straight to his family. So we have to make sure we've got a system where it is easy for people to donate, where it doesn't cost them money to donate, and none of the money goes to me or has any appearance of going to me. So that's the key, and then it's a matter of figuring out the time and the place. I think it'll probably be the same place we had it last year, or this year, because it kicked ass. Technically, it's still 2018, so I can't say last year yet. And for people on this channel who are from the hockey channel, come on out. It's a good cause, and it's a lot of fun. And the more people we have, the better problem we have in trying to figure out where everybody's going to play. Because I think it's going to be really well attended. There's a lot of people who didn't show up last year who are talking about coming out. So that's the kind of thing that I think it's more important to focus on than some of the other stuff. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. I do intend to spotlight some other channels and some other content. And I think the key for that is I want to spotlight channels that either um, people may not have heard of, or just channels that I think have some really fun content on them. So there you go. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, you just happen upon this video. And hey, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.